Hey, how's it going? It's Martin. As someone who's been shooting headshots since like 2009, which with every day it passes it makes me feel older, but it also makes me feel more experienced. And I feel like I have gained some sort of knowledge about what goes into making an effective headshot. And today I just want to talk about three primary aspects. They're actually the things that go into making any photo a good one, especially if it's a photo of a person. Those three aspects are a background that supports what you're going for, great lighting, and a great character or a great feeling that's being emanated from the photo. So we'll talk about each of these in turn. To start off, let's talk about the technical aspect of lighting. So when you have really good lighting, that essentially means that your eyes are brightly lit and there's not dark shadows under them, okay? For someone like me, if I tilt my head down like this, you see it starts to create this shadow under my eyes. If I tilt my head up, the shadow disappears. Because my brows come forward a lot, it creates the shadows much more easily. So I'm a little bit more challenging to photograph than someone who, say, has eyebrows that are a little bit further back and it lets in more light. Those people are easier because anywhere their eyes are going to look very bright. So make sure whoever is taking your photo, even if it's a friend, knows to get good lighting and make sure that the lighting is coming more from in front. The next tip to get a great headshot is to make sure that the background supports the character type that you're going for. So what do I mean by that? Basically, if you're going for like let's say with an actor, you're going for a more serious, intense, dark type of role. Well, in that case, you don't want to use like a bright colored background. Or if you're going for a more friendly type of shot, you don't want to use a dark, dingy background, right? You got to make sure that the background matches the expression that you're pulling off or the character that you're going for. So ask the photographer to take you to locations that will work with what you're trying to portray. You should never use one headshot for all different roles or all different submissions. And let's say you're doing a photo for your LinkedIn page or your business purposes. You don't want to use one headshot that will be posted on every single place, because in some places you might need a more casual shot, and in other places you might need a more formal shot. So that's why we always recommend that our clients do what we call our two-look shoot, so that they can do one look that's more formal and then one look that's more casual, and you can post the different images in different places. The more formal shot might have a more professional background, like something like a light gray, like what's behind me. Or they might have a more serious shot, a more casual shot that's done outdoors in like a park setting where the background is kind of blurred out and it's just some color behind them. Think about the background that you're going for and make sure that it supports whatever the character is that you're going for in that shot. Now, it's just like, it sounds really simple, but to even be able to determine the background itself, you need to actually make the decision of what type of character are you going for in the shot. A lot of people will do headshots and they won't have any idea what they want to portray. Now, the photographer, if it's a good one, they should be able to help you figure out what will work best for you. Like if you're an actor, what type of characters do you most enjoy playing? Which ones do you tend to play really well? Are you going for more serious or more comedic roles? All of that should help in figuring out what type of character you're going to play. On the business end, what industry are you in, and how do you want to come across to people? All of that is really, really important. Now, when we think about the character type, we're also thinking about the expression that you're going to be pulling off. I'll do another video that goes really into depth about how to get more interesting expressions, but in general, the question is, do you want to be smiling? Do you want to be more serious? How do you want yourself to come across, and what do you feel like is the background to that character? If it's a business portrait, you don't have to do so much backstory, but if it's an acting headshot, you definitely want to do some backstory. You definitely want to focus on, like, what type of life is this character living, and what are they trying to achieve, and how do they feel about that. Those sorts of things, if you can think about that, it just kind of adds layers of interest and depth to your photo. If you want to take it though in a very simplistic manner and just think about the most surface level aspect and not get into all those details, just think like, am I going for a darker, more intense shot? Am I going for a sad expression? Am I going for just a friendly, happy shot? Or am I going for a confident but approachable shot? There's a lot of different directions that you can take it. You just need to kind of generally figure out, what do I want to play in this type of shot, and how can the background and lighting support that? Now, if we're going to talk one more little tip about lighting, I said earlier that you want to make sure that the eyes are brightly lit. That's just a general rule. Now, another thing that goes into lighting is how much shadow do you want across the face and all of that, right? So if you're playing a more intense, darker role, then generally you're probably going to want a little bit more of shadows on maybe one side of the face. Whereas if you're playing a very friendly, happy expression, you want like even, bright lighting everywhere. So those three things are really important to keep in mind if you want a really great headshot. What is that character that you're going to play, first off? And then how can you use your background and your lighting and your expression to support those aspects. When you're an actor, there's more that goes into it. When you're a business person, you just kind of want to come across with like, how formal do you want the shot, and how do you want people to see you? Do you want people to see you as someone who's very, very friendly, or a little bit more serious? Those are some questions that you need to ask yourself, at least with the photographer, if not before you go in for the session. Okay? So hopefully this video was helpful. Please leave your comments below, and definitely subscribe. As always, live with purpose.